Poppin' Tea Squad? It's your girl Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Grown in Gospel Season 1, Episode 4 review. Okay, you guys, so this week's episode starts off with Tasha meeting up with Nikki to tell her how things went between she and Veron. And she tells her how everything started off smoothly, but it quickly went downhill when she tried to give him some of her Uchi Wally Wally Uchi Bang Bang. And Nikki is, of course, sad for her because she really wanted things to work out between Tasha and Veron. And so Tasha then proceeds to tell Nikki that, I know you don't know this, but I had an affair. And Nikki is shocked by this revelation. But Tasha tells her this was during the first time when she and Veron separated, and she thought that they weren't getting back together. So let me ask y'all a question. If you and your mate have separated and you start seeing somebody else, is that still considered cheating? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that down below in the comment section. So Tasha starts to cry and says, prior to getting married, he was really affectionate, hugging and kissing on her. And then when they got married, all of that went away. So I'm wondering, did things change after he found out that she cheated? Well, no, because she said that the reason why she cheated is because he stopped being affectionate. So I'm wondering, what happened to make him draw back from her and, stop being romantic and affectionate towards her? I really want to know. Veron, hit me up so we can have an interview so I can ask you all these important questions. So she then tells Nikki how he turned her down on camera, but then after he left, called her and asked her to come to the hotel room. And I was telling Sheridan, if you are not following my friend Sheridan's channel, it's Life with Sheridan, that he wanted to smash. I could tell when she walked out that room, he was looking like, oh Lord, the devil is trying to tempt me, this tipstress. I think that, like I said, he didn't want to do that on camera because he is a man of the cloth, and I think that he was embarrassed, you know what I'm saying, to show that side of himself. But yeah, she said that they did indeed smash after that. But at this point, she don't really know where things are going to go between her and Veron. It's looking like it's over between them at this point. We then see Eljiah standing outside of a baby store waiting on Bree, who is late, and he is annoyed and aggravated by this. So Eljiah, Bree, and Jay Brooks are throwing Shana a baby shower. Bree arrives an hour and a half late, and Eljiah is annoyed and mad, like anybody would be. I hate waiting on people. Like, that is the quickest way to make me upset. Don't be late, and then don't answer. Do not answer your phone when I'm trying to call you to find out what's going on. Communicate, let me know what's up, give me a ring. So I would have been mad too. I would have left, to be honest with you. So she arrives and he telling her about herself. And she was like, well, I had to work. I've been working since the crack of dawn. And he was like, oh, that's not going to work in this industry. It ain't even about the industry. It's just about being respectful of other people's time. I understand that Bree has to work a 9-to-5 job, but that has nothing to do with being late and not telling people what's going on. So I was with Eljiah on that one. So they get inside the store, and Eljiah brings up the whole Shana Tasha situation. And he was like, why are we mad at Shana? For what? For what? I'm not with all that mob mentality with one person mad at somebody, the other one got to be mad. He was like, Shana's my friend. And he was like, I need for Shana to understand too that Nikki ain't got no issues with her. And he was like, we're not going to paint Shana out to be a liar either. Now, I watched Tasha's interview with Carlos King last week, and it seems like there's still trouble between her and Shana, because in that interview, she said that what happened between her and Shana was that she had a private conversation with Shana where she revealed some things that only she told Shana. That information somehow got back to Veron. So she was like, she knew that Shana told him because she had told nobody else. So she was like, I just want her to admit that. So I was confused by tonight's episode that we'll get into that in a minute, but it seems like there's still issues between her and Shana. So after that, we see Bree gather the whole crew together and she tells them that she has something that she wants to go over with them and talk about. So Eljiah keep on cutting her off when she trying to speak, telling her to hurry up with his Billie Jean jacket on, child. God, Lord, help him, Jesus. And I'm like, how you sitting up here trying to tell somebody how to dress when you and Bree hooked up at the baby store and you came in with a bandana wrapped around your head like you was Punky Brewster or like you was starring in the next Electric Boogaloo. Then you had on a blue turtleneck like you was New Edition in the Candy Girl video. That muskrat jacket, I don't know what that was. Like, this man can't dress worth a damn and always trying to say something about somebody else. So Bree tells them that, she used to strip, and Eljiah is gobsmacked. Like, he perked up some crazy. Nikki was like, you got the moves, girl, you got the moves, like amping her up like a she don't care. Jay Brooks already knew, but of course he wasn't going to tell anybody because it wasn't his place. And she says that she, wanted to put it out there because, with her trying to do gospel music, people just gonna dig up stuff about you anyway. And she was like, people are gonna come for her, and she just wanted to pick their brains on, how do they think that it would affect her career. And everybody was really positive and giving her encouragement that they felt like people wouldn't judge her because everybody got a pass. Now we all know there's going to be people out there that judge her, because that's just what people do, regardless of if she's doing gospel music or not. She is going to have those people that judge her and hate on her. That's just a given. But, she has a testimony and a story to tell that could help other young women and guys through their, troubled times. And I think that it'll come across even more poignant in her music. So after that, Tasha goes to see a divorce attorney because she's almost pretty adamant that it's over between her and Veron. But during the conversation, like, she becomes completely overwhelmed with the thought of divorcing him and rushes out of the room and leaves. Now, I don't know if she ever came back. They never said anything and they never brought it up in her confessional. So I don't know if she went back because the old man was concerned. It looked like he was about to have a heart attack. He was so shook. So then after that, we see Nikki, Tasha, Jay, and Eljiah all get together. Jay explains how he's helping Bree with her music, but he questions will people judge her for her past with the stripping situation. He thinks that they will, and he's quite concerned about it. But everybody else is just like, it is what it is. They don't think that it's going to affect her career. And I think that that's a conversation he needs to have more so with Bree than the other people, because it's just a given, like I said, that you're going to have people that's going to have something to say. People always got something to say. So then Tasha goes on to tell them about how everything went with her night with Veron and how, she planned this romantic night. And Eljiah was like, for him? She was like, yeah, like, I haven't seen my partner in months. So, I got a violinist and a chef and all of this stuff. And Elijah's looking like, I guess, child, if you like it, I love it. So she goes on to try to tell them what happened, but Eljiah just keeps on cutting her off once again. And she was like, you know what? I'll just tell you later at a later date, Jay, since I can't talk. And so Eljiah was like, what? She was like, you keep on cutting me off. You won't let me speak. And Tasha was like, you make everything about you. All you had to do was listen. Eljiah was like, okay. And so he starts clapping his hands like, great performance. He's such a petty little queen. So Tasha was like, say how you feel, because I'm not revisiting this conversation ever again. Eljiah was like, well, since you opened the floor, you had a 4-bedroom house here before you got married. You gave that up to live in a 1-bedroom with a closet the size of a half bath. That don't sit right with me. Whatever you gonna do, do it. When he makes you cry, don't call Nikki. And she was like, how you gonna tell me who not to call? How you gonna tell me not to call my best friend? She was like, as long as I ain't calling you, don't worry about it. And now, mind you, they have been best friends since they was in the 6th grade. So I don't foresee their friendship ending or anything like that. They just two friends that know how to push each other's button and get on each other's nerves. And she was tired of him. Anybody would be tired of Eljiah. Eljiah make me tired. So Tasha was Like, you always go left. I don't call you crying. And it just leaves on a stalemate pretty much between those two. And Eljiah just is, he does too much. He does make everything about himself. And I could understand where he was saying, like, you dumbed yourself down to be with this dude that treats you bad. So why are you going overboard for somebody that ain't going overboard for you? But it was just the way that he delivered it. And once again, being obnoxious, that made it basically null and void what he was talking about. So now it's the day of Shayna's baby shower. Now, mind you, this baby shower was being thrown by Eljiah, J. Brooks, and Bree. And I think Nikki as well, if I'm not mistaken. Eljiah is nowhere to be found. He's late. He hasn't even shown up. And he did all of that telling Bree, this is not how you act. And it's, you can't be late and all of this. And then he turns around and is late himself. Child, ain't that the pot called the kettle black? So Tasha sits down with Bree before he gets there and telling her how, they got into it and how he's always cutting her off and just being obnoxious and getting on her nerves. And Bree sympathizes because, he treats her the same way. Tasha no longer at this point has any hopes for her marriage. Like, she's pretty much settled in her mind that it's a wrap and it's over. And we do know in present time that they in fact did get a divorce. So Eljiah finally arrives late and Tasha is not happy to see him. They are still on the outs at this point. Shana arrives and she's shocked and she's so, happy with how everything turned out with the surprise baby shower. It looked really cute. So Tasha and Nikki and Shana are all sitting at the table together, and Tasha admits to Shana that when they met the last time, that Shana was being very genuine in the moment, and she wasn't, because she said she didn't know what was real or fake, but now she knows exactly what happens. And this is why I was confused, because it seemed like in this scene that she was making it seem like she felt like her husband was the one that was starting mess and not Shana. But like I said, when she interviewed with Carlos, she was still blaming Shana. So I don't know. I'm confused on that whole situation. So Shana was like basically in her confessional, like I told you from the start, I didn't do anything. It is what it is at this point. So Eljiah asks Tasha to speak one-on-one. So they walk over to the side. And he was like, I ain't really call you over here to really talk about it or apologize. And she was like, well, if you ain't apologizing, then we're not talking. And he was like, let me speak. And she was like, no, if you're not apologizing, we're not talking. So she keeps on saying it. And he was like, you're really mad that I told the truth. And she was like, I'm not mad that you told the truth. I'm upset because your delivery and timing was all wrong. So if you didn't call me over here to apologize, then what are we talking about? And I understood where Tasha was coming from, because it was his delivery. It was his tone. It was him being rude and disrespectful. He just don't know how to talk to folks. He really honestly don't. So Eljiah was like, lower your tone, Tasha. And she was like, who are you talking to? She was like I said, once again, if you're not here to apologize, then we have nothing to talk about. And he was like, I said, lower your tone real loud. And she walks away at this point. It was like, keep that same energy. Let me tell you something. Eljiah in that bandana would have been on the floor. That crushed velvet would have turned to satin by the time I got done with him. Because who are you talking to, sir? You're not talking to me. And so she storms off or whatever, and everybody is getting on Eljiah for talking to her crazy and, doing this and acting a fool at Shayna's baby shower. And everybody, once again, is feeling like, he has to make himself be the star of the show once again and make everything about him. So Jay then steps up, because Jay and Tasha or have, stepbrother and stepsister. So he was like, you ain't putting nothing in order. You ain't putting my sister in order. Watch your tone when you talking to my sister. You not that. You're not that. And he was like, okay, brother, okay. And I was shocked that Jay finally stood up and got him in his place, and Eljiah backed down real quick, because he seemed like the type that'll get smart with a girl but won't really get smart with a man. He seems like that type of guy. So I believe next week's episode is the season finale, if I'm not mistaken. It's not that many episodes for this first season, but this is another really good episode. I'm gonna give last night's episode of Grown and Gospel, I'm gonna give it a B minus. A B minus. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next week. It's Tasha's birthday, and Eljiah is once again going to crash it and make it about himself. So we shall see what's going on with that. You guys, next Monday I'm going to load up my second home tour video. This time I will be showing you all my living room, my sitting room, and my deck. So make sure you all tune in Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time for that. Have a wonderful, safe, happy, and blessed Easter, you guys. I love you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.